Hello, it's JANG here with my review of the LEGO Marvel Superheroes Shield Helicarrier. I bought this from my nearest LEGO store when they opened on the day it was released, and it took me until after 2 a.m. that night to get this finished. It's a very serious build. The manual alone weighs almost 2 pounds and has over 430 pages. It's a 2,996 piece set. It comes with 5 minifigures and 12 of these new Nano figures, and we'll look at those more closely later on. Stepping back for an overall look at the completed helicarrier, they have captured the geometric elements of it very well. It even looks good from extraordinarily low angles. The bottom of the model, appropriately enough, is built up upon large ship hull pieces. The same molds that have been used on a ton of pirate ships and the like. Up top, the runways are constructed of a combination of large 8x16 printed pieces, which are exclusive to this set, and a number of stickers on tiles. The Nano figures and a number of small micro-scale builds add a lot of life and texture to the deck. You get 3 Quinjets, 3 small fighter jets, 1 tanker-style fuel truck, 2 little forklifts, which I like very much, and also some barricades. Notice the barricades are built using a formerly illegal building technique, and you'll see that used again in another place in this model. The main deck is fully built, nice and smooth, all the way back to the area that would be the hangar, but they don't give you any extra details inside of the hangar area. Here's a look at the upper deck, which is used for landing aircraft. I really like the little wing that they have off to the side, which shows some cargo and some various greebling and such that really adds some realism and believability to the whole thing, I think. I appreciate any and all secondary details like that they can give us. The control tower section, which is not the bridge, the control tower, is actually the area that I like the least about this entire model. They use just one large windscreen piece, which is nice in that it has the transparency to it to allow you to see a little bit of stuff on the inside there, but the size of it feels really out of place. I also don't like kind of the nose section that they have in front of this. This just doesn't seem to work for me. It feels like it has a variety of different scales of things, different resolutions of parts, different strategies for getting the geometry approximated at this scale. I think the stuff up on top looks pretty good, but the rest of it really detracts from the whole model for me. The stern of the craft actually looks quite good. This is nicely built. They've got the hollowed out area in the center because this is still a seaworthy craft. It's not just used as an aircraft, so that's a place where other ships can approach and you can deploy landing craft and such. The crank there in the middle is to allow you to spin the 4 turbofans that this is famous for. All 4 of those are linked together internally by a series of Technic axles and bevel gears. Putting all that together was a major pain in the neck. You have to make sure that every single bevel gear is at exactly the right position along each axle. A fraction of a millimeter too far in either direction and you'll end up getting a lot of extra friction, which makes this very difficult to operate. Now, this helicarrier model does have some interior detail. To get to it, you can easily remove part of the forward deck. This is the bridge. Remember, this is not a real aircraft carrier. This is the helicarrier, and this is its bridge. The more of the Nano figures you put in here, the better it looks. This is also where you see the rest of those formerly illegal techniques used with the tiles placed into clips, and those are used to represent micro-scaled little computer displays. Lots and lots of them. Because there are so many, and because the technique is a little bit tricky and we're dealing with 1x1 pieces, this is another area where you'll need to spend some time if you want to get it right and get everything lined up to look even. It's a shame that some of the Technic gearing mechanisms for the turbofans kind of get in the way here and break up the realism a bit, but the closer you get your eyes to this area here, the better it looks to me. And you can find some really cool angles that'll really just help your imagination to immerse you into this scale. With the top off, you also get enough light in there that you can kind of see in through the front main windows. The space behind the bridge is earmarked for power functions. Yes, you can motorize this thing. This part of the deck is intended to come off easily, and that's where you put your power functions motor and battery box. You can also hook up a power functions twin LED light unit if you have one. There isn't much air that actually gets moved around here, but it does kind of sound like you've got some fans turning. The lights up front, I don't know. They just kind of look like eyes to me. I wish they would light up the interior instead. A couple quick notes about the structural integrity of this model. The center, the main core of it, is incredibly strong. It is solid in the middle. But then you get the forward deck, which is practically just pasted on, it feels like. That whole part can be broken off very easily, so do be careful there. The entire upper deck, meanwhile, is attached with a turntable and I believe it was one stud, maybe two. Simply put, never grab it from the deck. If you want to pick it up from its stand or just from anywhere on the bottom, because again, that's all super strong. As you can see, it comes up very easily from the stand, and it has a flat underside, so you can place it on the ground and build up a diorama around that if you want. The stand is very bare bones, but it does include this nice plaque. That is a sticker on top of an 8x16 tile. It's not a minifig scale set at all, but they do include minifigs anyway, and to keep them from being too awkward just being thrown into the box but unusable with the set, they give you this kind of collector-worthy stand with the large Shield logo that's plate built in the background there. But let's go ahead and take a closer look at the minifigs just by themselves. Left to right, you're looking at Hawkeye, Maria Hill, Captain America, Nick Fury, and Black Widow. Now, I'm not going to pretend to have the experience and knowledge about superheroes, minifigure collectability, and rarity, and different variants and such. I just don't know that stuff. However, I can appreciate some cool figures and some cool characters. I am familiar with these characters. Let's go ahead and take a look at these from the back real quick. All of them have alternate faces, except for Nick Fury, of course, because he couldn't hide it if he had one. Each figure has its own print on the back of the torso. Maria Hill also has the logo on the right arm there. Here's what the faces, the alternate faces look like from the front with the hair pieces on. I'm really digging that Black Widow hairpiece over here, and I hope this becomes commonplace because it's a really good piece to have, and I hope that they make it in different colors as well. And then there are these Nano figures. These are printed versions of the minifigure trophy pieces that are supposed to be just small little things that regular minifigures would hold. And don't call these micro figures because that already has its own thing. Something of that construction and size would be considered a micro figure. So a tiny little thing. They give you here Hawkeye, Captain America, Nick Fury, and Iron Man, and then the rest of them are just generic agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I really like these things. I really like how they look. I really like the concept of them. I feel like they are going to allow a lot of folks, if they continue to make these and make more of them, they're going to allow a lot of folks to really liven up some micro scale scenes, you know. It'll just promote a lot of custom stuff. I hope that they continue on with this and do this quite a lot more and across different themes as well. But these are cool looking little things. You know, they're meant to look like little minifigures. They're not trying to take on a new set of proportions or anything. And they do interoperate with normal stuff. You know, they fit onto studs. You can put them in the hand of a minifigure. And check it out. Some of them from this set already match. Now they just need to make a female version so that you can get some of the other characters into this size and style. Would have been nice to get nanofig versions of Maria Hill and Black Widow to match as well. So, the Helicarrier, huh? Like I said, the building experience was intense. The end result, I think, from a distance looks great. Looks great from an astonishing number of angles, including those really low shots, which makes this a really good model to put on the top shelf of something or to put on top of a bookcase where frequently you kind of need to relegate things of this size. The The Nano figs, again, I really dig. I like the micro scale builds of the vehicles and craft on the outside. They really enhance the look of the thing, especially when you get up closer. Kind of hate that control tower, the thing that looks like a bridge but isn't a bridge. Would happily have sacrificed the motion feature, the whole action thing with the turning vanes of the turbofans, to get more details. I feel like that action feature uses up a lot of parts and a lot of complexity and doesn't really add a lot of value to this model. I mean, there's not that much you can do with that. There's not much that you can do play-wise with this entire thing. It's kind of something that you sit down in one spot. If it is going to be played with by kids, they're going to be landing aircraft and having aircraft take off, and they're going to be simulating, you know, Hydra bombing runs coming in and destroying parts of the deck and stuff like that. You're not going to be swooshing around this entire thing. So I really feel like the whole crank setup is just not a good use of budget. Speaking of budget, as of the time of the release of this thing in the United States, it cost $350. I gotta tell you, I don't feel like I got $350 worth of stuff here. Just my personal opinion, seeing this thing in front of me. It does have a number of large pieces. It has a handful of large printed pieces as well. So on a price per part basis, adjusted for the size of things, I feel like that kind of works out okay, but the subjective value that I derive from what I see before me doesn't feel like $350 worth. Ultimately, this is a niche product, right? It's not for the mass market. There are a very limited number of people who would actually consider buying this thing. Plenty of folks who would like to have it, but when it comes to spending those kind of big bucks to get just one Lego set, and it's not even minifig scale, doesn't have any minifig scale playability to it at all. Myself, I wouldn't want to pay more than $250 for this. As it is though, I feel like this isn't a great value here, and I expect that most of these that sell will sell to resellers and to investors and collectors only. A lot of them are going to stay in box. All those are just my personal opinions though, of course, so please feel free to disagree or agree. Let your thoughts be known. The comment section is open for your feedback, so I'm looking forward to seeing what you have to say. I thank you very much for taking the time to watch this video, and I hope that I've shown you everything that you need to know and need to see to form your own opinion about this set. As always, I've got a ton more videos on the way, so stay tuned, and I'll be talking to you again soon.